The sad truth is that according to research, 95% of the people who lose weight, diet, and exercise fail. That's a 5% success rate, and that's horrible. But what I found with helping literally hundreds and hundreds of my clients transform their bodies since 2005 is there are two things. If you knew these two things before you started, it would greatly increase your chance of success. What you need to lose weight is a good fat loss meal strategy. But that is the least important part of this equation. You may be thinking, okay, like what? What are you talking about? Here's what I mean. On this sheet of paper, you have everything that you will ever need to lose fat and keep it off for life. It's all there. Here you go. You're all set, right? Wrong. You know in your heart that it takes way more than a strategy on a piece of paper that will actually get you to stick to the meal plan. Otherwise, you'd have $1 million saved in the bank, you would never eat that donut, I love donuts, and you would work out every single day. Finding the right strategy is not complicated. Type in on Google meals for fat loss, and you're gonna get over 160 million results. Now, I'm gonna share with you what I call the perfect meal strategy. But to make sure that you actually stick to the strategy, so you actually do it, you first need a system. The focus here is on the habit system that you need to create first to make sure that this new meal sticks. In the #1 New York Times best-selling book called Atomic Habits, I love this book, is written by James Clear. He has a quote which I think is incredibly powerful. If you're having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. Here's what I mean. I'm going to share with you a story. When I first started professionally training in 2005, I had this really expensive, fancy computer program. It would ask you over 150 questions about your diet, about the foods you liked, about your weight, about your age. Then it would spit out the exact meal plan to the calorie, to the, molecule of protein on how to lose fat. I would proudly give it to my clients, and I felt like such a great trainer. I felt like a badass. People were empowered. They were motivated for 3 days. Then they would drop off one by one by one. And I just couldn't figure out why. I'm like, why are they doing this? Am I a bad trainer? Am I giving them the wrong information? What's going on? They'd say, Peter, I can't stick to this. It's just too much. Then out of just pure desperation, I said, okay, don't worry about the meal plan. Just focus on one meal. Just eat this one perfect meal, just one time per day, and do this for an entire week. Then we'll add the second meal from the meal plan, but only if you've had just one meal per day for an entire week. Make sense? Got it? They would say, okay. Then a freaking miracle happened. People started losing weight like crazy. And I'm not talking just one person. People were doing it back to back to back. People in the program were losing anywhere between 8 to 12 pounds of body fat on average per month, all because of this one silly, stupid little, meal challenge. And I was happy, but I was thinking to myself, how is this even possible? Mathematically, I didn't even understand. And it's in that moment that I discovered why, like I said, 95% of the people fail and only 5% succeed. It's because people take on way too much too soon. And it's called the rubber band effect. So when you take an entire meal plan, or if you take an entire whatever plan or something big in your life and you take it on all at once, you pull this rubber band way back, and this creates tension. And if you're strong enough, you could pull like crazy and you can pull it way back and there's a lot of tension, you can hold it for a while if you're strong enough. But eventually it's you're gonna have to let go. It snaps right back. Has this ever happened to you where you start a new diet, you start a new habit, you have great intentions, you put it up on your vision board, you're looking at your board every day, everything is going great. And then one day, one moment, one donut, that's my favorite, it all just snaps back and you're at square one again. And then you're like, how did this even happen? And I'm here to tell you, my brothers, my sisters, is that it's not your fault. It is the rubber band effect. You need to master this thing, but in order for you to master this thing, you have to understand it. When you're doing something new, you venture out a little bit outside, and your comfort zone is just what's normal to you. And when you venture outside of your comfort zone even a little bit, it creates a little bit of tension. But here's the cool part. Tension creates change. Tension is good. Without tension, you're not growing. But too much tension is not good. That's bad. You can hold on for a certain amount of time, and sure, like the outliers, some people can go way outside of their comfort zone, create a lot of tension, and then persevere after that. But the vast majority of the people out in the world, they don't work like that. And this is why 95% of the people who even do change fail. With this one simple, stupid little 1 meal per day, you're giving yourself time to adapt. You're giving your body, you're giving your brain time to evolve. Have you ever heard of, you see it all the time, but you have like these young professional athletes. They go out, they're really talented, they make millions of dollars. And then by the time they retire, they don't have any money left. Or you even see people who like they gain all of these millions and millions of dollars in the lottery. But then, years later, they go bankrupt. And you might be thinking like, how did that even happen? They had this money. Like, how could they do that? It's the rubber band effect. You see, when you gain all of that stuff, all those resources, all that money all at once, you didn't have time to develop the skills and the strengths and the fortitude to be able to be a responsible steward for all of these new resources all at once. You couldn't handle it, and then it's gone, just like fat loss. In short, the rubber band took them out. In stories, they have this thing called the character arc. In every story, the hero ventures off into the world because of a calling that they have. They go on their epic quest. They experience hardships, they experience trials, they experience frustrations, they experience fears and self-doubts, but they persevere and they learn how to overcome their obstacles one by one by one. And by the end of the story, they have new skills, they have new strengths, and then when they finally encounter the big dragon, they slay the dragon, poor dragon, and they win. But here's the catch. If they face the dragon in the beginning, they would lose. That's exactly what happens when you take on too many changes all at once. You just didn't give yourself enough time to learn. You tried to face the dragon too soon in the story. You didn't learn how to overcome the little cravings, You can do that with 1 meal a day, but if you try to do that all day long, that's a lot of tension. You didn't learn how to overcome the pain and the discomfort from meal preparation. When I give them their meal plan for the first time, they say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna start tomorrow." I'm like, "Whoa, don't start tomorrow." Give yourself 2, 3, 4 days to prepare. Taking time to prepare, taking time to gather all these new ingredients is new. You have to go to the store, you have to purchase the food, you have to take the food home, you got to prepare the food. This takes time out of your day, and it causes pain and it causes discomfort, and it creates that little bit of tension, right? If it's just 1 meal a day, a little bit of tension, but by the end of the week, the tension decreases because it's something that you've done. Then you can add the second meal. Does that make sense? Then you can add the third meal a week after that. And I've seen this time and time again, my friend. That is how you create lasting change. And it's so simple. Okay, so now that we have the super simple meal system, now we can talk about the perfect meal strategy. Now, I go over this perfect meal strategy in depth. I'm like talking in depth in another video. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that video. There's a link in the description. After this video, you can click on it and watch it. This is what I call the perfect meal. By the way, there's no such thing as the perfect meal. I call it the perfect meal because it's kind of cool and it sounds cool. And I've just seen it work time and time again for clients over the years. Here's the meal in a nutshell. You have 1 palm size amount of protein. It could be any protein source. It could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be whatever lean meat. It could also be vegetarian sources of protein. Most of the protein sources that I get are vegetarian sources of protein, like tofu, beans, lentils. I also eat eggs. So 1 palm size amount of protein. Now, protein helps you repair and build your muscles after training. Protein also, when you start increasing your protein throughout the day, decreases the total calories that you consume over the day just by adding more protein. It's really, really awesome. Then after you add 1 palm size amount of protein on your plate, you add 1 palm size amount of complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates could include, grains, whole wheat pastas, could be, oats, potatoes, rice, starchy foods. Complex carbohydrates are your body's preferred source of energy. Your body can use protein, your body can use fat, but it prefers carbohydrates. Complex carbs also are higher in fiber, and fiber is essential for fat loss. So on your plate, you have a palm-sized amount of protein, you have a palm-sized amount of a complex carbohydrate. Now we have 2 palm-sized amounts of veggies. You can use your favorite vegetables. I personally like broccoli. I also eat like green, dark leafy greens. So you could just pick your favorite vegetable. Vegetables are super high in micronutrients, the vitamins and the minerals, which are really good for our body. But for fat loss in particular, vegetables are amazing because they have high amounts of fiber. And this is usually the missing ingredient for a lot of people when they try to reduce their body fat, is a lack of fiber. Most chronically overweight people typically lack a lot of fiber in their diet. When you consume good fiber in your diet, it expands the walls in your stomach, which sends a signal to your brain that you're full. So important. And then finally, on your plate with your food, 1 to 2 thumb-size amounts of fat, of good fat. Could be a good oil like avocado oil, olive oil, or it could be avocado, could be olives, could be fish oil, could be nuts. I typically add the fat when I'm preparing. So if I'm preparing, let's say, eggs for my protein source, I'll add a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil typically when I'm cooking. I cannot stress the importance enough of starting with the right meal plan for a fat loss strategy, but also having the right workout program that gives you the right resistance training for your muscles, gives you the right cardio training for your vitality, your energy, your fat loss, so you do it the right way. And that's why we offer a free step-by-step free training. It's in the link in the description. We take you step by step and give you the exact training program, the weight training program, their cardio program, the accountability, the meal program, all in one, so you gain muscle and you lose fat for good. This is the same program that I've used with my clients time and time again over the years that gave them an average of 8 to 12 pounds of fat loss per month. Make sure to click the link in the description for your free training today. That's it for today, my friend. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now for future videos like these. And also, if you liked this video, please click the like button. It really helps the algorithm and it shares more of these amazing videos with other people around the world. You are incredible. You have so much talent inside of you. It's time to activate your gifts. It's time to face and move towards your fears and ignite your strength. I'll see you next time.